Hello my sweet friends, welcome back. I spontaneously decided that I wanted to start a new reading vlog. I honestly have a very busy week coming up, so I don't even know how much reading I'm going to be able to get done, but I feel like filming a reading vlog, so we're going to do it. It's 7 p.m. on a Sunday night. We're home from church, we've had dinner, and I finished my current read this morning, and I haven't picked up anything new. So I thought it would be the perfect time to start my reading vlog because I'm going to start a new book. And while I was eating dinner, I watched Alexa Ray's new video where her husband chose her TBR for the whole month, and it kind of inspired me. And so I said to Liam, do you want to pick out my next book? And he said yes. So we're gonna go let him pick out my next read. I'm kind of scared because I'm gonna give him free reign. Like I'm just gonna point to my TBR card and be like, pick whatever you want. He's not going to be doing this for the whole week. It's just probably this next read. I just thought it would be fun. I don't really know what I'm in the mood for. I'm not really like dying to pick up anything in particular. So I'm really intrigued to see what he's going to pick. Are you ready to pick my next book? I've already put my PJ pants on. Literally as soon as I got home from church, I was like, PJs are hot. Anyways, here's the TBR card. These are all of Liam's options. I'll give you guys a closer look very quickly. This is Liam. He loves me on camera. What do you think you're gonna choose? Well, how are you gonna make your decision? Vibes. Like you're just gonna... Okay. Is there anything that's like calling to you? Actually? Yeah. Are you just gonna like go for that, or are you gonna like keep thinking about it?
I was gonna think a little.
Yeah. No rush.
Either.
Do you want to pull them out and I'll show you? Yeah, you can look at the covers a bit.
Oh, actually, no.
So these are some of the ones that he's picked out. We have Once with Feeling. Oh, putting one back. We also have One Day, and then we have Slow Days, Fast Company. So these are the three you're choosing between. What spoke to you about these ones?
This one just looked cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool cover, hey?
This one was also pretty cool.
Just orange?
Yeah.
Do you like orange?
No.
Oh.
This one was short, but
Yeah.
also I like the cover.
Yeah, I like want to start talking to you about them, but I feel like that's like not the point. Surely there's one that's calling to you more.
I'm gonna say this one.
The middle one?
Yeah.
Good choice, honestly. I feel like all of these choices I was honestly like going to be happy with. But he's gone with Once More with Feeling. It's a really cool cover, hey? Thanks for joining us. I've never seen you do that in your life. So Liam chose Once More with Feeling by Alyssa Sussman. I only recently picked this up, so this is kind of fun. I feel like there were so many books he could have picked up that I could have been like, please no. And this is one that I'm like excited but a little bit nervous about. I know that the book girlies didn't like this one. I think they all rated it like 2 stars, maybe 1.5, but I just want to give it a chance. I really loved Funny You Should Ask, which is another book by this author. I gave this one 5 stars and a lot of people gave this like 3. So from what I've gathered, I think there is a trope in this that is not very well liked, and I think like I have a guess about what it can be, and if it does have that trope, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but I just want to give it a chance. I want to obviously form my own opinion, and I guess I will update you guys when I start this. Hello friends, it is now the next day. It is Monday. I actually don't know what time it is. I think it might be around like 1 or 2 p.m. Like you guys saw, I started this book last night. I think I read 60 pages last night, and then this morning while I was like drinking my morning coffee, having breakfast, I read another 40 pages, and I've just had a moment to sit down and read a little bit more, and I've only read another 20 pages so far, but I was like, oh, I should probably give you an update. I'm over 100 pages into this book, so I feel like I have something to say. I have opinions. And guys, I'm loving it. Like I'm loving it, and I'm well, okay, I was gonna say I was shocked. I'm shocked, but I'm not. Here's the situation. When I read Funny You Should Ask, I read it in like 1 or 2 sittings. I sat down, I binged it. I found it so readable, bingeable. I didn't want to put it down. I just wanted to keep going, which doesn't happen very often to me, especially with romances, because obviously if you're reading a thriller or something, you can be a bit more like, oh my gosh, I need to know what's gonna happen next, and every chapter leaves you on a cliffhanger. But romances don't really give you those vibes. And I don't know what it was about Funny You Should Ask, but the way it was written, I couldn't put it down. And so I binged that, gave it 5 stars, loved it. And so obviously when this book came out, I was super excited to pick it up, but before I got my hands on it, I saw the book girlies, Sarah, Destiny, and Haley, all give it like 2 stars or under, like all a really bad review, which obviously is so valid. Everyone can rate books whatever the heck they want. I'm not against people rating books badly, but I really trust their opinion. And after seeing that, I was just kind of like, oh, maybe this book isn't for me. Maybe Funny You Should Ask was a bit of an anomaly, or maybe this this book is a bit of an anomaly and it's just like, it's just not good. So I was really hesitant to pick it up, but then recently I decided to give it a chance anyway, because I was like, I just want to, you know, give this a chance, see for myself, have my own opinion, and try and go in without having any sort of expectations. And I think that's the best way to go into books. You never want to go into a book expecting it to be bad, because then I think you just like look for all of the things that are bad about it. So I tried to go into this book with as little expectation as possible, and straight away I was just so obsessed with the writing. Like, the writing obviously really reminds me of Funny You Should Ask, which makes sense because it's the same author, but it just has that same bingeable, readable feeling to me. And honestly, every moment I've had to be able to read, I have wanted to pick this book up, and I've been picking it up as much as I possibly can. Obviously, in saying that, it's been less than 24 hours, so I haven't had that many chances to pick it up, but it's just one of those books that I'm looking forward to reading. And I think it really comes down to the writing, because obviously at this point we know the characters, but we don't know them that well. And we know the story, but obviously the plot is only really being set up in the first 100 pages, so I think it must be the writing. But so far I am just really enjoying this. Obviously I might change my mind, I might get a little bit further into this and be like, actually I hate it, but I will say so far I'm obsessed. I love the writing, I really like the plot. If you don't know what this one is about, it's basically about two characters, Kathleen and Cal, and they met when they were pretty young during theatre camp. They were both theatre kids, and then we skip forward to when they are a little bit older. I don't actually know exactly how old they are, maybe late teens or early 20s, and both of their careers are starting to take off. So Kathleen is a pop star and Cal is part of a boy band, and obviously they're in the same industry, so they see a lot of each other. I don't really know much more than that right now of the then situation, but then in the now situation, Cal has become a director and he is directing a theatre show, and Kathleen just happens to be playing one of the main parts in that theatre show. So obviously there's a bit of a forced proximity situation, and it's a bit uncomfortable, it's a bit awkward. We know that they have history, but I haven't really got to the part in the book where that's really explained, but you can just tell that there is some underlying feelings there. So I'm really liking the plot so far. I'm so intrigued. I really like our characters so far. I like Cal, I like Kathleen. I think they're both quite witty. I don't know, I'm scared that something's gonna happen that's gonna make me start hating it, but so far I really like it. I've also annotated a little bit, and I don't really annotate that much, so you know I'm really enjoying a book if the annotation supplies come out. So I'm scared, but I'm excited. But again, I just want to go into it with an open mind, and I'm just going to enjoy it as much as I possibly can. They keep referencing musicals, and I don't really know that much about musicals, so every time they reference one, I'm looking it up on YouTube and doing my research so I can really understand the atmosphere, you know? And it's kind of fun. I haven't seen that many musicals, but the ones that I have seen I have loved, so this is really fun. I feel like I'm just being educated on musicals. I am indeed sitting in the same place that I have been for the past few clips, and that is because I have not moved from this spot. I have just been reading this book. I told myself that after I got to page 150, I needed to put the book away and go back to work. I did not do that. I kept reading. And so I've just gotten up to page 200, and the only reason I'm stopping is because, again, I need to get some work done. So I'm gonna do that now, and I'll probably try and read some more of this later tonight after I'm finished with my work for the day. But I'm at page 200, which is also halfway through the book. I'm really liking it. I'm really liking it. Again, I think it's just for the same reasons that I've already discussed with you. The writing, I really enjoy the plot, I really like the characters. I will say the main girl is annoying me a little bit. Like, there are a few things that she's done or said and I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you say that? But I feel like that's pretty normal. I finished all the computer work that I needed to do and straight away went back to my book. So I'm now at page 250. So I just read it like 50 pages and I'm still really enjoying it. I think I have 150 pages left, and part of me is like, can I finish this tonight? It's like 6 p.m. right now. No, 5:30. And Liam's out. I have no food in the fridge, so I think I'm gonna go get myself some takeaway, which will be nice, and then come home and maybe even catch up on The Summer I Turned Pretty, because I haven't watched the past couple episodes, so that could be fun. I'm like scared to watch it because I know it's gonna shatter my heart and soul, like it always does, but I equally do want to keep up to date, so I'm really torn. Anyway, the main point of this update was that I'm having like one main issue with this book, and it feels a bit like a plot hole. Maybe we'll get an explanation to it, and I just haven't gotten the explanation yet. We have our main girl, Kathleen, and in the then timeline that we have in this book, she is dating this guy called Ryan, but she also has this friend called Cal. And Cal is the love interest of this book. And obviously they have chemistry and they love spending time together and they really like each other, but she's got this boyfriend Ryan. And we have barely heard a single positive thing about Ryan in all of the then chapters that I've read so far. Like, he just seems annoying and selfish and only cares about himself. I guess that's selfish, but like he just doesn't seem that nice. And this book is told from Kathleen's point of view. And so you're in her head and he's not described that well. Like, he just doesn't seem that nice. So I'm just kind of like, why are you dating this guy that you don't even seem to like? Especially when it's so clear that you have feelings for someone else and this whole book is about someone else. Like, as an author, I feel like if you're gonna make the girl have a boyfriend, you have to at least make him somewhat appealing. And there has to be some sort of reasoning as to why she stays with him and why she is continuing to date him for a really long time. Because right now I'm just so confused as to why she has stuck with this boyfriend for so long. Like, I don't get it, and it just feels like a bit of a plot hole, because I understand that there has to be something between her and Cal, like there has to be some sort of tension and something standing in the way, because if there wasn't, it would just be too easy and there wouldn't be a book. But the boyfriend situation is just, it's just kind of dumb. It just doesn't really make any sense. So that's my main issue with this book so far. Apart from that, loving it. Again, like I said, maybe we'll find out some more reasoning later, but I just feel like we're not going to get that. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to grab some dinner and come back and chill for a bit, and then I'll probably just like shower and then read some more. Currently in the drive-thru, I got nuggets. I'm a huge nugget girly. Let me know, are you a burger girl or are you a nugget girl?
There you are, sorry about the hold up.
That's all good. Thank you so much.
You enjoy.
You too. Did you guys hear that? She was like, you enjoy, and I was like, you too. Oh, what a cringe. Anyways, got my food, so that's good. I know the lighting's awful, but bear with me for a second. I just made it to chapter 31, which is page 330, so I have less than 100 pages to go, and I'm still enjoying it, but I feel like the last 100 pages or so, it's kind of like fallen off a little bit for me. I don't know exactly why. I feel like our main character is frustrating me a little bit, getting on my nerves a little bit. She is just like making decisions that I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are we choosing to behave like this? Just quite selfish. And it's hard because in this story, she is a pop star, or she was a pop star. And she's also spent her whole life performing, you know, doing solos and being in theater performances and singing in front of huge audiences, going on tour, being center stage, you know, like in the spotlight her whole life pretty much. And so of course she's like used to being the center of attention, but it just feels like there are so many situations in this book where she'll think about someone else for a second, but then she just goes back to thinking about herself. Or even she'll like consider like, oh, I should think about this person, I should check in on this person, I should think about this from another person's point of view. And then that second is over and she's back to thinking about herself and what she wants and what will benefit her. And I'm just like, what? Why are we doing this? It's hard to explain without like really spoiling every single plot point, but I still really like the writing, but I feel like as the book goes on, I am understanding more and more of why people don't rate this super highly. I will say though, I do feel sorry at some points for our main character because she really does go through some stuff. Like, it's not necessarily always easy for her, but yeah, overall I'm just a bit like, I feel like at the start I was like, this writing is so good, I can see everything happening in my head, like it's a movie in my head, it's so good. And whilst I still stand by that, the actual story itself, I'm a bit like, we have like 80 pages left, 70 pages left. So I'll probably update you guys when I'm done. I just finished once more with Feeling, and I feel like I just stand by what I've said so far. And I've got to say, I was very happy with the conflict. I think it was the perfect conflict for this book specifically, and for this story, and for these characters. I think it was really well done. Overall, there were lots of things about this book that I really enjoyed, and there were also lots of aspects that I wasn't too fond of. So I don't really know what sort of rating I'm going to give it as of yet. It's definitely not a 5-star, but I don't think it's a 2-star. It's sitting somewhere in between that 3 to 4-star range, but I'm just gonna kind of sit on it and probably read it later. But I think it's about 8:30 now and I'm not really tired yet, so I think I'm gonna start another book, but I don't know what I'm feeling. I brought two options into my bedroom. These are both on my TBR. I haven't really been following my TBR so far this month, so I thought maybe let's choose one from the TBR to read next. I don't know what I'm more in the mood for. I think these are both YA romance. I could be wrong with this one. I know it's definitely romance, and I think it's about a girl who goes to work in a stable for the summer or something. Our main character Charlie is forced to move to Newport, Rhode Island for the summer and live with her dad, which honestly sounds like a lot of fun. And then this one is about a girl who writes something, it goes viral, and then she needs to fake date a guy. I don't really know that much, but I don't really know which one I want to go for. I might start this and then I guess if I'm not vibing it, I'll just switch to This Time It's Real, but I'll probably update you guys tomorrow. I have a reading update for you guys and I also have some book mail. But firstly, let's talk about this book. I ended up starting Unstable last night. I've taken the dust jacket off just so it's easier to read. And I ended up reading like 20 pages and then I watched Gossip Girl. And I've kind of had a busy day today. I've had like appointments and like work stuff. I went to the gym. So I've kind of just like been reading here and there, like sporadically throughout the day. But I just made it to page 100. And I also think I'm gonna have a bit more time this afternoon to like really sit down and do a bit of a bigger reading session. So I'm hoping to read more of this afternoon. But like I said, I've made it to page 100 and I'm honestly really enjoying this. This is really fun. It's kind of giving the Summer I Turned Pretty, but like make it horses instead of beach. It's set at Rhode Island, so there actually is a beach element to it, but it is really focused around our main character Charlie working as a stable hand. Is that what it's called? Like mucking out the stalls and making sure all of the horses are looked after. She works at the stable as a little summer job to try and save money for her tuition for college, but her dad lives in Rhode Island, so that's why she's spending her summer there. And she's kind of just like, I just want to lay low. I don't really care about making friends. I don't really care about partying or anything like that. I just want to save a bunch of money and read some books. So pop off queen, we love to see it. And so far in this book we've just seen her getting used to this new job. She's never even ridden a horse before she gets this job at the stable, but she also interacts with a lot of people at the stable, people who keep their horses there. She's made some friends with some of the girls from the stable, which has been so cute to see, especially because she was like, I don't even need to make friends, I'm not putting effort into that. And then these girls kind of just like take her under their wing and are just like doing all these wholesome activities with her, like riding their horses on the beach at sunset and like going on little beach picnics and going over to each other's house for pizza. Like it's so cute and wholesome. I love it. And right now there are also like two potential love interests. I feel like I already know the one that she's going to end up with. I feel like it's pretty obvious, but of course we've got to create some tension, you know what I mean? I'm not like obsessed, but it's just like a fun time. But I also got some book mail, so let's open that together. I have two packages. One of these I've actually had for like a week and I just haven't opened it because I wanted to open it with you guys on camera, and the other one literally just got delivered. So first up, so cute. This is the book that I got. This is K.L. Walther's newest release, What Happens After Midnight. She's also the author of The Summer of Broken Rules, which I really enjoyed. It wasn't like a 5-star book for me, but it was really fun. I haven't heard amazing things about this book, but people seem to be enjoying it, and you never know, this might be a favorite. My neighbor's cat has popped into my yard. It's also just such a cute cover. Oh, boarding school. That's fun. And then this one's a bit of a bigger package. This is a box set of the Shades of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. I've been wanting to read this trilogy for so long, and I actually started reading the first one because it's on Kindle Unlimited, and I think I'm about 20% in, and I was like, okay, I think I need to buy the physical copies of this. I really like V.E. Schwab's writing and her concepts. They're always very interesting to me, so I'm really excited to continue this series. I've heard so many good things about it, and I've heard a lot of people say that this series in particular is their favorite work from V.E. Schwab, so that has made me very intrigued. But those are the books that I've purchased recently, but I'm gonna go back to reading Unstable, and I guess I'll update you guys later. I don't know why I continue to insist to film in this spot when the lighting is so awful, but I'm just in bed. I'm not gonna get out of bed to film a clip for my vlog, you know what I mean? Like, this is just the reality of the situation. But it is 7:45 p.m. and I've got less than 100 pages to go. I think I've got like 90 pages to go, maybe 80 something pages to go, and I'm still really enjoying this. It is a little cheesy, but like in a good way. I feel like a lot of YA romances are a little cheesy. I'm enjoying this. But before getting like settled in bed and like getting really cozy for the night, I decided to grab a couple of books, because if I finish the book that I'm currently reading pretty soon, which I'm hoping I will, I want to have something else to pick up, but I don't really know what I'm in the mood for. So I picked out 3 options and I think I'm gonna put them on Instagram and get you guys to vote. But I'll show you the 3 options that I have. First of all, we have This Time It's Real, which was one of the ones I was considering reading last night when I decided to go with Unstable. I still definitely want to read this. It's on my TBR for the month. It's a YA romance. I don't know if I want to go from YA romance into more YA romance, but I don't think I'll be upset if this wins a poll. I think it'll be a fun time. Another one which I just saw on my TBR cart and I was like, let's just chuck it in the poll and see what happens, is this one. This is called An Honest Lie by Taryn Fisher. I got sent this by a publishing house a few months ago and I'm just like not a huge thriller girly, and so I've just never reached for it, and I don't know, it doesn't sound super interesting to me, but equally if this wins the poll, I just want to give it a chance and at least read like 50 or 100 pages, and if I'm still not vibing it, then I'm just going to DNF it and get it off my physical TBR, because I'm just so sick of seeing it on my TBR card and just like never wanting to reach for it, because for the most part I would say 95% of the things on my TBR card I'm so excited to read. Maybe I'm just like not in the mood for it, but there are a few that I'm just a bit like and this is one of those, but it could be really good. And then the other one that I want to put on this poll is Tell Me Lies, which is another one that's on my TBR for the month, but I've just heard so many bad reviews of this book, so I'm like, I'll read it if it wins the poll, but if it doesn't, I'm just like not that excited about it, you know? I think this is going to be like a toxic romance. I don't know if it's a dark romance necessarily, but I think it's supposed to be pretty like, I don't think it's going to be a wholesome time, you know what I mean? But I just need to give this a chance at some point and even just try it again, kind of similar to the last one I mentioned. I just need to like see if it's a vibe, and if it's not, then at least I can like DNF it and get it off my physical TBR, but it might be a vibe. I don't know. Sometimes unlikable characters are really interesting to read about, and sometimes they're not. So we'll see. I'm gonna pop these up on a poll on my reading Instagram. This is the pick we're going with, and I'll probably give it until I finish this book. That might be all night, that might be like an hour, I don't know. And we'll just see what happens. I love making you guys make my decisions for me. I honestly don't know which one's gonna win. Sometimes when I put a poll up like this, I kind of have an idea of what might win, because sometimes if one of the books is really popular, then there's a huge chance it'll win. But honestly, with this selection, I have no idea. Let's see what you guys choose. I just finished Unstable. I was not expecting that ending. I thought it would just wrap up so perfectly, and I feel like this is giving there's got to be a sequel. I literally finished it and then I got on my phone, looked up the author's Instagram and messaged her straight away being like, bestie, I can't believe you left me with that ending. Like I need answers. It's not like a cliffhanger necessarily. It just doesn't feel like a complete end, you know what I mean? Like there's room for more of a story to come through, which like maybe that was the point. I'm assuming that was the point, but I'm just feeling a little unsatisfied because I really thought this was just a cute little standalone, and now I'm like, bestie, where's the proper ending, you know? I need to know. Finished it. It was honestly so much fun. I'm so glad I read it. I really enjoyed it. I think a lot of people would really enjoy it. I stand by what I said about it gave me like Summer I Turned Pretty vibes, but in a stable. It's kind of like, you know how everyone at the moment is being like, I want to have a Miley Stewart summer, like a really wholesome on a farm or on a ranch with horses and like fall in love with the cute boy in the barn. This is the one. If you want those vibes, this is the book for you. That was so much fun. Anyway, but I think we're gonna read something else. It's like 9 p.m. Almost 9 p.m. Not quite. So my poll has only been up for 1 hour, but I'm just gonna go with the votes right now. Currently, This Time It's Real is sitting at 27%. An Honest Lie is sitting at 28%, and Tell Me Lies is sitting at 44%. So that is the winner by like a decent amount, which is so interesting. Okay, Carrie replied and she said, the ending does leave things unfinished for sure, so there might be more coming soon. I hope there is, fingers crossed. Why am I so awake at 9 p.m? This is very unlike me. Every time Liam goes on work trips, which is where he is right now, I can never sleep. I don't know why. I guess I'm just used to him being here. I'm kind of scared to start this book. Also, the font in this book, ugh, disgusting. Like, why is it like this? The words are so tiny and the margins are so big. Why? On the back it says, Lucy Albright is eager for a fresh start when she arrives at her small California college and immediately embraces all that college life has to offer. New friends, wild parties, stimulating classes. And then she meets Stephen DeMarco. Charming, attractive, complicated, devastating. Stephen is determined to forget an incident buried in his past that, if exposed, could ruin him. Okay, let's hope he's not like a murderer or something. This is also a Hulu original series, apparently. I don't have Hulu, so I haven't seen it, but I don't know if I want to read this. I'm gonna give it at least 50 pages, and then if I'm not vibing, she's out. Good morning, guys. It's now the next day and I thought I'd give you a reading update. I don't have too much to update you on. I did start Tell Me Lies last night and you know what? I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. I find the writing like so easy to just like fly through. I think I only read about 30 pages, maybe like 2 or 3 chapters, and obviously I'm like just getting introduced to the main characters and stuff. It is definitely giving me toxic vibes. It's giving me like, I actually haven't read After, like the After books series, but it's kind of giving what I assume is that sort of vibe. Like I think I've only read 1 chapter with the guy's perspective and he was just like, the first time I saw her I knew she would be mine, or like something along those lines, like just something like, okay, whatever, we'll see what happens there. But I haven't read any more this morning, except I have started a new audiobook. The rest of this week is really busy for me, so obviously I'll keep you updated with what I'm reading, but I'm really unsure about how much time I'm actually going to have to read. But I do have a bit of driving to do, so I'm sure I'll get through a little bit more of this audiobook. But I put a hold on this book from my library like weeks ago and it came in this morning and I was like, perfect timing, because I have like an hour or 2 of driving to do today. And that book is Throne of Glass, and I just did my first drive, which was like half an hour, and I listened to it all the way here and it feels so good to be back in the world of Throne of Glass. Like I was smiling, I was just driving and just like smiling because I was like, oh, I've missed these characters, I've missed this world. Throne of Glass definitely has my favorite main character of all time. Like she is just the best, and as soon as we got introduced to her, like right at the beginning of the book, I was like, oh my gosh, I've missed her. And like I said, I've only listened to like 30 minutes of it, so it's not a lot going on right now, but it just feels so good. I think I'm gonna start doing a bit of a reread. I think at this point I'm mostly gonna listen to the audiobooks. I really like doing rereads as audiobooks. I don't really know why, but I love it. So I'm gonna try and start my Throne of Glass reread as audiobooks. I might switch over or might switch back and forth between the audiobook and the physical book, but I don't think I'll do like a full annotation this time round. Maybe my third time reading can be the annotation one, we'll see. But yeah, I've missed this world so much, so it feels good to be back. But that's the update so far, and I guess I'll talk to you guys when I have something else to update you on. Hello friends. We have a bit of catching up to do. The last clip that you saw was on Wednesday. It is now the following Tuesday, so it's been a minute. But the last half of last week was just really busy. I had my friend's wedding, which you might have seen in the weekly vlog, so I didn't do a lot of reading for the rest of last week. I did do a little bit, which I'll update you on, but we've skipped forward a few days, just so you know. Basically, the updates are, since I last talked to you, I finished Throne of Glass, which I know I just started in the last clip that you saw, but I had a lot of driving to do over the past week. So I listened to that and it was amazing, incredible, show-stopping, the best thing ever. I honestly think it was better the second time round because I knew everything that was going on. I knew who everyone was, so I could really focus on all the little details and the foreshadowing, and it's just so good going back to a world that you love so much, and I cannot wait to continue my reread of the Throne of Glass series. I'm so excited. If you want to know which reading order I'm doing, I'm going to do Assassin's Blade third. And I don't think I'm going to do the tandem read this time round because I don't really need to, because I think the whole point of doing the tandem read is so that you don't end Empire of Storms on a cliffhanger and then have to read Tower of Dawn and like wait that whole time to get your answers. But because I already know what happens, I don't feel the need to do the tandem read second time round, but we'll see. I'm a long way from getting to that part of the reread. I haven't started Crown of Midnight yet, but I probably will in the next few days. So that's the update with that. Then I also DNF'd Tell Me Lies, which is kind of sad. I hate to say it, I hate DNFing books, but I got like 50 or something pages in and I was just not vibing it. I just don't think it's the book for me, or at least it's not the book for me right now. Maybe I'll pick it up at some other time, but I don't know, I wasn't vibing with it, and I would rather read something that I am vibing with. So I took Tell Me Lies with me when I went to the Gold Coast for like the rest of last week, and I tried to pick it up, but the guy specifically, like the male main character, character in that book, he was just giving me the ick and I was not into it. It's very like possessive, very like I'm gonna make her mine type of vibes, and sometimes that is just not for me. It was like the same as when I read A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. That was just not it for me personally. So again, sometimes I can read a book and it be like kind of toxic and I can still find it entertaining and I can still enjoy it because it's like, it's a book, you know, like I'm here for the drama sometimes, but sometimes it gives me the ick and sometimes I'm not into it. And Tell Me Lies, I was just not into it. So DNF'd, see you later. I will say the writing was so bingeable. Like I really liked the writing. It was just specifically the male main character that I was not into. But anyways, because I took Tell Me Lies with me and then I DNF'd it and I was away and I didn't have like my TBR cart, I didn't have another book to read. I did have my Kindle, but I didn't want to read my Kindle. What's new? But luckily the girls and I dropped into Pack Fair while I was away, so I popped into QVD and picked up a new book, and I decided to pick up Renegades, and I'm so glad that I did. I wanted to pick it up when I was doing my book shopping vlog a few weeks ago, and I just didn't. It didn't feel like the right time, and I have been thinking about it ever since, and I'm just like, I can't believe I didn't get it. I should have got it. And so when I walked into QVD the other day and I needed a new book, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get Renegades. So I picked this up at the end of last week and read like 50 pages. Like not really much at all because I was just so busy. But then over like Sunday, Monday, I've been picking this up. I've been reading it as much as possible. I've still been kind of busy, so I haven't been reading as much as I would have liked. But I am at like the halfway mark now and I am absolutely obsessed with this. It's giving me 5-star feelings, which is so exciting. When I'm not reading it, I want to be reading it and I just want to get my work done so that I can go back to reading because it's just so freaking good. And I just haven't had a chance to like sit down and binge it. I've just been reading like little bits at a time and all I want to do is binge this book. But anyway, it is 3 p.m. now. I'm sitting at my desk. I still have some work to do, so I'm gonna try and smash that out. And I am going out for dinner tonight, which I am really excited about, but it just means I don't have a lot of time. So I'm gonna try and smash out my work and then get as much reading done as I can before dinner tonight. But I'll keep you guys in the loop. Guys, I finished my work for the day, so I'm here on the couch, rotting away. I've been so excited to read all day. I'm up to chapter 24, which is page 308, and I think this book is around 550 pages, so I'm a little over halfway. Ignore my dress drying in the background. But if you haven't heard of Renegades or you don't know what it's about, it is a YA, I think it's sci-fi, and it's about superheroes, which is so fun. One of the reasons why I was drawn towards this is because I loved Vicious by V.E. Schwab, and that is kind of superhero-y as well. So when I heard that this was superheroes, I was like, maybe I'll like it, who knows. I've also heard a few of the book girlies talk about it as well, and they definitely convinced me that I needed to read it. But the basic rundown of this book is, in this world, there are superheroes and then there are normal people. So some people have powers, some people don't. And I think the people who do have powers are called prodigies. And then we kind of have the good guys and the bad guys. And the good guys are called the renegades, and they're kind of like the government of this world. They just kind of make sure everything is running smoothly. If there's anything going wrong in the city, they handle it. They're kind of like the police, the secret services, the government. And if you have a superpower, you can try out to like be a part of the renegades. So like you can join if you would like to. And then we have the bad guys, which I think are called the, I don't know how to say it, anarchists, whatever. And I guess they're kind of like the rebels. Like they also have powers, but they don't want to be a part of the renegades, and they are kind of opposing the renegades. They don't want them in power, they don't agree with them, and so the renegades and the anarchists are kind of like enemies. And in this book we're following two POVs. We're following a guy who is a part of the renegades, and then we're following a girl who is part of the anarchists. And that's all I'm gonna say, because I feel like it's so much more fun if you kind of go in blind and you don't really know what's gonna happen. But it is just so interesting. I love both of our main characters. I think they're so fun, and I think that's all I'll say for now. I think it's so fun just kind of like going in blind and like not really knowing what's happening and figuring it out for yourself, because it is so interesting. I honestly don't really know where the story is going to go from where it is currently, but I'm excited. I do know that this is part of a trilogy, so I'm not sure like how the story is going to evolve, but I'm so excited to see. And I also just love the like superhero element. I think it is so fascinating to meet all the different characters and find out what their superpowers are and like what they can do with them. It's literally so good. I feel like I'm not describing it that well. Like I feel like it's so much better than what I'm describing, but I'm gonna keep reading. We'll see how much I can read before I have to go out, and I'm just so happy to be on the couch reading my book. It's now the next day. I did some reading last night, I did some reading this morning, and now I'm up to page 444, chapter 35. So I think I have roughly 100 pages left, which is so exciting, but I'm also like kind of sad because I'm loving this so much that I don't want it to be over. But luckily there are 2 other books in this trilogy that I know that I'll be able to read at some point after this. I definitely think I'm going to finish the book today, and honestly I have no idea how it's going to end. I'm kind of scared that it's going to end on a big cliffhanger and I'm just going to want to go get the next book straight away because I'm like, Rachel, you have so many other books on your TBR that you need to read, but like I just want to keep reading this. And I'm also so intrigued to see what's going to happen in this next 100 pages because I'm assuming there's going to be some big conflict. I feel like this book is one of those books where there's always like something happening, which I really like. Like I have not been bored the whole time. I'm basically 450 pages into this book and I have not once been like, oh, it's kind of dragging. Like I'm interested the whole time. Like I mentioned, we're following 2 POVs and at the moment there's a lot of secrets. We're following a guy and a girl and both of them just have a lot of secrets. There's some secret identity situations going on, which is really fun, but I'm also just like loving the secret identity situation. Like I almost don't want them to figure out all the secrets because the secrets make it so fun, but I guess I'll just read it and see. Freaking out because today as I'm filming this, we just got a title announcement for the next Magnolia Parks book. I'm so excited, but I'm equally terrified. So the 3rd and final Magnolia Parks book is going to be called Into the Dark. That's terrifying. Like, what do you mean? Coming February 2024. Into the Dark. Surely if it's the last Magnolia Parks book, it has to have a happy ending. Surely. I'm just going to be staring at this title for the next 3 to 5 business days, processing. I just finished Renegades and that ending was so good. It had a little plot twist right at the end and I'm not gonna lie, I did suspect it. There was something that happened earlier in the book and I was like, I have a theory, and that theory was correct. But it's definitely not one of those series where each book has a really great ending where everything is just summed up and you get all the answers. Like we got basically no answers at the end of this book, but I really liked how it ended. I felt like it was done so well. I loved everything about this book, honestly. I think this is an easy 5 stars for me, which makes me so happy. I love finding new 5-star books. Obviously, I'm sure everyone does, but like it ignites something in me. Wow, this was so good. I kind of forgot about some of the books that we've read in this video. I already know this reading vlog is so long. I hope you guys enjoy a long reading vlog. I hope you feel fed because I feel like I just did not stop talking this entire video. But we're gonna do a recap and I want to give you guys my ratings for all of the books that I read in this video. So starting off with Once More with Feeling. This is the book that Liam picked out for me to read and I started off really enjoying it, like really enjoying it. I loved the writing. It was one of those books where I just wanted to keep reading, and before this book I hadn't had that feeling in a long time, I'm not gonna lie. But as the book progressed, I feel like I got a bit annoyed at our female main character. There were some things that happened that I didn't love and it just, I don't know, it just kind of fell off a bit for me. I honestly still think this is a good book. I think there were just a few things where I'm like, I don't really know why the author chose to include these things or portray this person this way or have their characters make certain decisions. It felt, I don't know, some things just didn't make sense to me, like some writing decisions. But I do think Alyssa Sussman is an incredible writer. I love her plots. I love the way she writes. I just feel like this book had a lot of potential and it just didn't deliver for me personally. But also in saying that, there were so many aspects that I liked, so I felt very like conflicted when I was choosing a rating for this. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 because again, there were a lot of things I liked about this, but there were also some things I didn't. So I think a 3.5 or a 3.75 even feels right to me, probably a 3.5. Then I picked up Unstable by Carrie King, and this was so fun. This is a YA romance, and like I mentioned when I read it, it kind of gave me those like Summer I Turned Pretty vibes in the sense of it's a bit cheesy but in a good way. It has that like nostalgic summer feeling to it. It was just like wholesome and fun, and I just had such a great time reading this. So I think I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. Then I did end up starting Tell Me Lies, and I did end up DNFing Tell Me Lies. It just wasn't for me. me. It just felt a bit icky to me, so I decided to put it down. And you know what? I'm proud of myself for actually DNFing a book because it doesn't happen that often. I do love the cover though. I really love the cover. I also listened to the audiobook of Throne of Glass and it was absolutely phenomenal. I can't remember what I rated this the first time round. I feel like it was in the 4-star realm, but honestly, I think it deserves 5 stars. Like, it is a 5-star series and I honestly think this is a 5-star book. I absolutely loved every single minute of it. Like, I already want to reread it and I already know that I'm going to reread this series multiple times and I cannot wait to start Crown of Midnight. But yeah, this was absolutely phenomenal. Especially if you've read ACOTAR and haven't read this. Like, if you've read ACOTAR and you want to experience that feeling again, read Throne of Glass. It's literally so freaking good. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know how else to convince you. I'm still convincing my friends in real life who have read ACOTAR to pick up this book because it is so good. I'm sorry if the lighting is changing, by the way. I feel like the sun is kind of going in and out from behind the clouds. And lastly, as you guys just saw, I finished Renegades and this was chef's kiss, 5 stars, phenomenal YA sci-fi. Maybe I'm a sci-fi girly. I need to pick up Red Rising. I know I do. But yeah, this was just so much fun. I was not bored throughout the whole thing. Like 550 pages, not bored once. So freaking good. I'm already so excited to pick up the next book. I don't know when I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try and finish some more books on my monthly TBR probably before I try and pick up the next book in this series. But guys, if you're looking for something that's like fast paced and really fun and just easy to read, I feel like you hear sci-fi and you think, ooh, that's kind of complicated. Like, I don't know if I can do that. Try this. It's YA, which I feel like YA anything, YA fantasy, YA romance, YA sci-fi is always like a little bit easier to read than adult. But this was so easy to understand and like so easy to follow along with. It didn't feel overwhelming or confusing to me at all. So definitely recommend. But we had such a great reading week. I read so many great books. Obviously had a DNF in there too, but like we can't win them all. But yeah, this was just so fun. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this vlog. Let me know if you want to see more reading vlogs like this in the future. Just really casual, like mood reading kind of vlogs where I just kind of pick up whatever I'm feeling at the time and just talk my way through it and give you guys my thoughts. They're so fun for me to film because it kind of just feels like I'm talking to my friends about books that I'm loving, and that's like my favorite thing to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love you all so much and I will see you guys with my next video very soon. Goodbye.